just, okay, just in a minute. So welcome, everyone. It's Marilyn Harris from Hard at Work, and we are live streaming on YouTube. And just to say welcome and good morning, and thank you for joining us today. And I have Isabel, who's bright and chipper and ready to go, and look forward to hearing her talk this morning. And so thank you, Isabel, for joining us today. And would you like to go ahead? I'm just going to let you introduce yourself and go ahead. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Marilyn. Thank you for having me. I was expecting like more participants, or is it just you and me?
Right now, yeah.
Oh, okay. So
more people will come on board. But.
All right. I sure hope that people will come in, because I had some really awesome breakout sessions planned for us. Yeah, I'm Isabel Wettergren. I am the proud founder of Teachers Wellness Coaching and Consulting. I have a 20-year experience teaching K through 12 right here in California. And I taught physical education for a long time, and I led some wellness initiative. And really what I tapped into starting in 2015 is the workplace wellness specifically for teachers. So that's kind of the background that I have. I have a master's in health and wellness psychology. I have a few certifications, national board certified health and wellness coach, where I work with people to really discover the life that they really want to live, find out what the obstacles are, and equip them with what they need to really fulfill their dreams in terms of health, wellness, stress management, and also addiction. So I'm also a certified professional recovery coach. I have a personal story of resilience, of overcoming addiction. So I have 13 and a half years of continuous sobriety, which that's the reason why I'm here today. That's my why. I suffered in silence. I had filled with shame, guilt, and fear. And now I no longer have that. And I want to make sure that people know that it's available to you as well. Help is available. So hopefully by today sharing some tips and hearing some stories of resilience, we can really tap into that. That's my intro.
Okay, great. So would you like to continue on with your talk?
Oh, well, sure. So I was going to ask the participants, so maybe you and I can have the conversation. Yeah. Sure. How about we do that?
Yeah. Great.
So what is resilience, right? So we would do like a crowdsourcing exercise, really, where everybody would share, what is your definition of resilience?
To me, it means you just, no matter what shows up, you just get up and keep going. You don't stop because somebody else doesn't like it. Or if you've really, I've had to reinvent myself several times or pivot or whatever you want to call it. So to me, it's just about getting up and just saying, okay, what's next? And what's my next step? Okay, it's over there. Okay, let's go, kind of thing. So that's to me what resilience is.
And that's spoken from a resilient person. I can tell that you have experience with resilience as well. Because some people, having the awareness, and because some people, what's going to happen, like they're telling themselves these stories, right? And they just kind of create this reality for themselves. I am not healthy, and, I am not a runner, and I'm not good at this. So the first thing that I think that is important, and now I'm so solution focused. That's how I like to operate. But let me just backtrack. But before we go there, I get carried away. I just want to acknowledge your experience, that it happened to you, where you fell down, you got back up, and then you're like, now what? Which direction am I going? And that, that is, your definition of resilience. We would have 100 people on this call, and we would have 100 different answers. and they would all be good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, so here's another exercise that we would have done. This is where really the crux would have been. It's to go into breakout rooms and share. So maybe you and I can share together a story of resilience. And here's how I would lead this. So I facilitate like in the workplace. I go in the workplace and we do these things because we're like, okay, we need a resilient workforce. Well, what does that mean?
Right.
Right. So to me, resilience is also, about the lessons that we've learned. What are the lessons that I've learned along the way? Like, I've gone through this challenge. It's got to be a reason, but really, what lesson did I learn from this experience? Because if you don't have that mindset, you might fall into the poor me, I'm just not good enough, and like all this self-defeating talk. So really, what are the lessons that I've learned? And then what are the superpowers that I've discovered along the way? Right? So let's you and I play this exercise, right?
Sure.
I'm going to send everybody on a breakout room. Oh, make a new friend. That's how I would lead it, right? And that's really where the people like really love this part of the workshop, is when they go and they share their experience with, with friends they hadn't met yet. So Marilyn, you be my friend that I haven't met yet. And think about, take about a minute.
We haven't really.
Right. Think about an experience, a time when you experience like a hardship. Now, I don't want you to go into something like so deep that it's going to hurt you or like scratch a scab or anything like that. Just something that you'd be willing to share here live on YouTube with our audience. So practicing self-care also, when I do these workshops, you just got to make sure that we practice self-care, right? We don't want to disclose some stuff that is like, oh, I wish I hadn't said that. So especially when it goes on YouTube. And I can start.
Okay.
Because, I want to create this space where you feel comfortable sharing and maybe give you a little bit more time. I do have several stories of resilience. But I think the most significant one that happened in my life is really my road to recovery. Recovery from alcohol, from marijuana, and opioids. So that was my story, and I hid it very, very well, very, very well. And a lot of people hide it very, very well, but they suffer in silence. My idea was that, I would see people on the street, and that would be like my image. That would be like this stereotypical image of someone struggling with addiction. And I was like, I'm not that bad. I never missed a day at work, so it can't be that bad. My kids are fed every morning. It can't be that bad. They never miss a day of school. They had sunscreen. I was involved like everywhere, volunteering in town. But inside, I knew that something was up. I kept telling myself, this is not right. This is the last glass of wine. Tomorrow will be better. So I kept making these promises. So that's kind of my story. And I would fail to fulfill my promises. The next morning, I was a morning user. The next morning, boop, I was like, oh, okay, well, tomorrow will be different. So that's kind of what happened. I met this incredible therapist who listened to me, put me on the path of recovery. I joined a 12-step program. And now I'm doing some work going into the workplace. So that's kind of what happened. The lessons that I've learned is that alcohol and drugs doesn't work for me, right? It doesn't work for me. At first, it relieved the stress, and then it became like my number one coping skill.
Right.
And then I realized that my highs were getting higher and my lows were getting lower, and I just couldn't live like that anymore. So that's what my lesson that I've learned is that I cannot have psychoactive substances in my body.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't fit with me.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we got someone. Hi, Dr. Pam. I was just sharing. Hi, I'm so excited. We got someone. I was just sharing my experience of resilience, overcoming addiction. So let's catch up. So I was just to the part where, so the framework is that we're sharing a story of resilience, the lessons that we've learned, and also the superpower that we have uncovered along the way. So I just shared my journey through addiction. The lessons that I've learned is that I can't have any psychoactive substances in my body because I have substance use disorder. And now my superpower is that I can share about that experience
Mm-hmm.
and be excited about it and hopefully help others,
Mm-hmm.
overcome their addiction and reevaluate their relationship with drugs and alcohol, because we know that that's on the rise. So that's my superpower right now, is that I found my voice. And it took COVID. It took COVID to really put me on that path, to share my experience freely, free from guilt and shame and
Mm-hmm.
fear that what are people going to think about me? I just don't think like that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so that's my superpower.
Yeah.
All right.
And of course, my thing is, until you've experienced it, you can't teach it. So otherwise you're just coming from being inauthentic. But anyway, so I'll just share one of my stories. I was in doing a lot of marketing for new entrepreneurs. I had my, oh, Carol, I'll have to.
All right. Do you want to mute yourself and take that call? Do you have to do that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Marilyn's got tons of superpower, and one of them is that she's juggling like 30 speakers on the conference, and she's engaging with me. She's just fabulous. Dr. Pam, do you have a story of resilience? Like I said, like not something that is not too personal, not like an old scab, or so kind of that framework. Briefly describe what it was, the lessons that you've learned, and the superpower that you've uncovered.
Sure. So when, as someone who felt 80 when I was only 50, okay, that really, it concerned me. And so I was doing, all the things like massage, and I don't know if you're familiar with floating, like Dr. Lilly, NIH, like floating in medical grade Epsom salt, right?
Yeah.
Acupuncture, I would see a chiropractor to manage, and it just wasn't fun. I told my husband one time we were walking up this teeny tiny hill, and I used to row and dance, right? So I competed in both. Actually, I was really a bad dancer though, but I finally came along, but I couldn't dance on beat. So if the man didn't lead on beat, then I was off beat until recently. But so it was a concern, and I would fall asleep early. So a retired nurse, introduced me to something that people refer to as a breakthrough. And I didn't really listen. I mean, I believed her, I trusted her, right? But I was earning my doctoral degree at the time. So I'm at a stand-up desk. Okay, this goes up and down. So I thought, well, maybe I'm sitting, reading, and writing too much. Maybe that's the reason I hurt so much. So I tried everything. Well, I then have an issue where my urine, if I sneeze and laugh, well, that's no fun. And I think 50 is way too young for that, right? So I decided to go see a surgeon, and what the retired nurse had shared with me was in his office, but it felt like it was his. It didn't feel like it was on display. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, and I kept saying to myself, I'm not there to ask him about this anyway. That's not why I'm there. and he was running a little late with the appointment. So, so anyway, when I went and saw him, and as I was walking out of the exam room, I pointed to it, right? It was in the corner, and he had been in practice for quite a while. So, when that, like, if you guys could see my desk, it kind of looks like organized chaos. It's not just disheveled, right? It's not, I've got a pile of notebooks and pens. So he'd been in practice a long time. So it looked like that, prostate pamphlets for males and whatever. So as I walk out the door, I point to it and I said, hey, if I commit to that, will all my problems go away? Well, of course he wasn't going to say yes, because you can't. And I knew that. But he grins at me, and I love that twinkle in the eye, right? When someone really cares about helping people, whatever line of work you're in. And he has that twinkle in his eye, and he says, Pam, what do you know about that? so I go home immediately, right? That conversation probably lasted only another minute. He said, if you'd like more information, he gave me, but I went home and called the retired nurse. And then after that, I feel blessed. And part of what led me to looking for those types of solutions was watching my mom have illness after illness and more take a traditional route,
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I feel blessed. And then I think you said my superpower. So for my whole career, right, I have been, for, let's see, an educator and entrepreneur for probably combined 30 years. Okay. So, but in my heart, it's teaching first. No matter. And so I think when we're open to learning and you've built those relationships all that time, I feel like I'm an influencer now because people know, like, and trust me. So I try to meet people where they are.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I love your story. And these people along your path, like, you didn't get there yourself, like, for some reason, like, when we open ourselves to the universe, these people come in our lives. And if we are aware, so that's going to be our next topic, is just to have the awareness. If we have the awareness that this person came on my path, like this retired nurse, there was no coincidence why she spoke to you at that moment. Right. So when we are aware and open-minded, many things can happen. So thank you so much for sharing that story. All right. And welcome, Carol. We're sharing stories of resilience. Marilyn is going to go next. If she doesn't get interrupted this time.
We'll ignore all those people that have Gmail accounts.
Hi, Carol.
Hi, sorry. I went into 27 3 times, and then I didn't know where to find it. I only found it on my phone. I didn't find it on my computer. I just found it now on my phone.
Okay,
right,
Carol.
You're here. You're here. And this is a session about resilience, Carol. So
resilience. I'm resilient.
I bet you are. So if you don't give up, if you were able to get into this meeting, you're resilient. All right, let's hear from Marilyn's story.
Yeah. So I have several stories, but I'll share this one. I started to share it. I was in a position, had really helping people with their marketing, helping people understand what marketing is for an entrepreneur. And I just totally got burnt out from doing all that, because you're always give. And I became very burnt out, and I didn't know what to do next. And I had a friend of mine who said, Marilyn, that would happen to me. And a friend of mine told me what I'm going to tell you to do. And she said, you're going to just surrender every day for 30 days. And I'm going, I don't know if and she said, if you need somebody to talk to, because it's a solo project, you're not with a group of people. So anyway, I would pace the floor. I would meditate, I would read, I'd go for a walk, but basically I just said, I surrender, I surrender, I surrender. And I did that for 30 days, but I also called her about 10 times a day and said, I don't know if I can keep doing this. And she just said, no, you're doing really good, hang in there. And then she'd hang up. And she didn't engage in a conversation with me except to say, hey, you're okay, you're keep going, you'll be okay. So anyway, so I did that for 30 days. And then I said, okay, God, I've been here just surrendering and hoping you're talking to me, saying something to me. So I'm going to ask you, tell me what you want me to do and get me out of here, because I don't think I can do it for another 30 days. And so what happened, it just, I heard kindness, and I went, kindness? What the hell is kindness? And so anyway, so that was it. And then kindness conference. And I said, I have no idea what that is. Oh, never mind. Never mind. I said I would do anything to get me out of here. So, so anyway, so that's sort of what happened. And then from there, I just, I moved into, yeah, anyway, so from there, I just moved into, a place of just being, just saying, okay, kindness, okay, whatever that is. And so anyway, I ended up, after that, I ended up moving out to be with my mom for a while, because she said, well, why don't you come live with me and help me and everything. And so there's a lot of other stuff that happened, but she wasn't willing to help me per se the way I needed help. She wanted me to help her, wanted to help me the way she wanted to help me. And I just said, this isn't working, Mom. I said, first of all, you live out in the middle of dune bugs. I had 5 job offers and no way to get to them because the bus ran once every hour. And so anyway, I ended up moving out and moving to another city, but just the same. So at the end of all this little journey that I was going on, I got a job, and then after a while, I sort of got a nudge, like, not kindness. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm going to work on that right now. So that's when I started Hard at Work, and I just did 2 kindness conference live events, one in 1999 and one in 2000. And that's how I got started. So, and then many years later, of course, I realized it was about kindness to myself.
Oh, nice.
So my superpower now is to take all what I learned and help other people understand that they have to be kind to themselves in order to be more effective in their life and in the workplace, wherever they are. Because if everybody shows up and work with their baggage of crap, guess what? Everybody has the same their own baggage of crap. And they're fighting amongst each other because they don't know how to manage it. So because they haven't worked on their own self, or they haven't spent their time, being kind to themselves.
That's very powerful. So what I'm hearing you say is that, again, so I'm kind of looking at the commonalities among our stories. Is that, again, you had someone on your path that you could count on, and she said to you, just surrender. And you're like, what the heck is surrender? It didn't matter. Like, you had someone. So again, these people that are put in our lives, they're there for a reason. And you were, again, open-minded and willing to try. What, 30 days? What does that mean? What would that look like? And then you're like, okay, well, let me try. What do I got to lose? I just want out. And then along the way, you discovered like this kindness, and you're developing this movement that is just so important, because now what we are experiencing is that, so my background is really as an educator in schools. So we're putting a lot of pressure on educators to, to teach social emotional learning, to teach emotional regulation, but the adults are the ones that are not well right now.
Right.
The adults are not well at all. So, Marilyn and I got connected through Inner Wheel, like a network.
Yeah, it was true. Marianne.
Awesome people and awesome women that are kind of doing this grassroots movement. And, when Marilyn was put on my path, I'm like, yeah, I want to do work with you. I believe in kindness at work. I believe in empowering people to become better. So Arthur, welcome. I just chatted in the chat for you what we're doing. Carol, do you want to share your story of resilience? Like, again,
Yes, I will do that.
Not like a hard scab, something that you're going to feel like exposed or too open, just something that, because we're on YouTube Live, right?
Okay, yes.
Okay.
Well, I had a really horrific experience. I'm a teacher educator also, 36 years. But about 33 years ago, I was, I probably shouldn't say this, but I was accused, shouldn't say this. I was accused of a bad thing, which I didn't feel that I was guilty. And so anyway, I left. I was given a leave of absence with pay from my teaching position because of it. Not going to go into all the details, but I have faith-based, and my husband, who passed away in 2007, was very supportive. All my friends at school were supportive. All the administrators, I've been in the district for 33 years or something. They were supportive, so they knew that I wasn't wrong. I had an attorney that worked with me through the district. And I mean, just being faith-based and going off to Half Moon Bay with my RV and my husband to get away from the I mean, I was getting a lot of calls, but that time, I guess I wasn't really connected to the cell phone to the hip like I am now, and went off to Half Moon Bay for, just to be in the beauty of the earth and to just know that with faith, this is all going to resolve itself. And yes, it did. It all resolved. It took 6 months. I did transfer from that school to another school. But the point was that the principal at that time did not support the teacher. I mean, she listened to these dysfunctional parents who had their own agenda. And so it went to the media and everything. I mean, and we're now friends. We're now best of friends. And she knows she was wrong. So when I went to the new school, I knew this principal really well. And I said to her, you need to support the teachers and have a meeting with everybody to find out what actually happened, rather than just listen to the parents' side of the story. And she did. And everybody went right on with 3 or 4 or 5 more years in that school district, like next door to the other school kind of thing. And then they accused the district of wrongdoing also. So the district was all on my side at that time. But you know what, just being faith-based and being, knowing that I was right and continued to be loving and caring and interested in children and certainly not harming children. And everybody knew that I was a good person. And I knew they knew I was a good person. And it all got resolved. And then about 4 years later, I decided take this job and shove it. I don't need to teach any more years. So after 36 years, I went on to retirement, and I've been busier now than I've ever been in my life. And that was in 2001.
Wow.
So life is good.
Oh my gosh, Carol, thank you so much for sharing that story. When your integrity and it's being compromised, and it goes onto the media and all that, that's got to be like something very challenging. I love that your husband was supportive, and that you have.
I have a twin sister who we call ourselves the ambassadors of fun right now. And there's no worry or stress 24/7.
Well, that's how I met Isabel.
But we didn't know that. We didn't know that piece at that time. But no, I have a lot of support. Mary Lynn has known me now for 10 years, and she's been she didn't know me at the time. Mary Lynn Harris didn't at the time. But no, when you have a lot of supportive people in your life, it really helps. And connecting with really nice people, and I connect with everybody, but I have a lot of nice friends in my life. But thank you for those nice words.
Yeah, and thank you for your years of service in education. So I got 20 years in, and I briefly, before you join into the call, I'm the founder of Teachers Wellness Coaching and Consulting, and
Wonderful.
You're the ambassador of fun. I'm the ambassador of mental health and well-being for educators.
Love it. I love it.
Don't we need that?
Stay in there for the long term because retirement is really nice payback.
Right, right. All right. So, so what first of all, I'm just, I always like doing these workshop and these connections, right? What we're doing, we're connecting our past experience. We're connecting with the people that put us on the path. We're connecting with just like learning about the shared experience. So whether it was health, it was professional, sometimes it's relationship, mine was with addiction. So, you know, we all have stories of resilience. Working with coaching clients, I'm noticing that sometimes we have some limiting beliefs and we don't necessarily recognize them. So awareness precedes change. If I am not aware that I have a problem, if I am not aware that I have these self-defeating thoughts, if I'm not aware that I have these strong self-defeating beliefs, right? Then I cannot really change. So, you know, why do I always get unhealthy? Why does this always happen to me? So really, I also have a very strong faith-based life right now. I rely upon my source, which I choose to call God, higher power, universe. It depends which side of the bed that I wake up, but I know that I'm not in charge. I definitely know that I am not in charge. Anybody else kind of feels like that? Anybody else? Yep. Yeah, awesome. So, so having that mindset. So first of all, we need to have the awareness that what is going on, and then we can change the mindset. So I've been practicing this, this meditation. It's a guided meditation called the Law of Attraction and Abundance. And basically we talk about creating the life that, that we want to create. We are the creator of our own destiny. And a lot of time people are trying to be like self-made people. Like, I want to figure this out on my own. And what happens when you do that is that you're missing the opportunity to have someone help you and share their experience. And by doing so, these people develop self-esteem. I don't know if it makes sense the way I'm explaining it right now, but when I try to figure out things on my own, I can get like really, really, really bogged down. And, you know, and having like a very, very narrow vision of what are the possibilities. But when I open myself up, then I'm getting a different perspective. So I'm going to share the screen right now, and just talking about the mindset. I hope you can see it. Can you see it? Thumbs up if you can see it.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So here's the mindset that we can, you know, when we're helping someone, right? Because resilience is also, it's about helping other people. People will come to you for advice. They will come to you with the problem. Instead of saying, what is the problem? Really trying to focus on what is it that you would like to achieve. So in Marilyn's case, like if we would have been like, well, the problem is that I'm not finding satisfaction at work, you know, what would you like to achieve? You know, and she had that period where she really had to take her time and figure that out. And then it just came to her. Instead of saying what is hindering you, what progress have you made so far? So if someone is just so bogged down on, you know, the problem, so how are you going to get out of this? What progress have you made so far? What would you like? What would it mean to achieve success? And I'm going to get back to you with the definition of success, because the definition of success is super important. It's not just getting the job, getting the raise, getting the new car. If that is your definition of success, it's so narrow and it's going to happen so not very often that you're not going to necessarily find a lot of joy and satisfaction. However, if your definition of success is today, I'm going to meet my step goal, I'm going to do 12,000 steps today. That's my personal step goal, 12,000 steps, right? Let's say if I say, well, I want to lose 20 pounds, that's my main goal. But whenever I reach the 12,000 steps, then it's a success. I can celebrate that little success. So really, like, the definition of success is really important, that you break it into little bits and pieces so that you can celebrate along the way. How long have you been experiencing this problem? Well, you can ask instead, when in the past have you achieved a positive outcome? So tell me about a time where you felt satisfaction at work. Tell me about a time where that problem didn't happen. What would that look like? Or tell me about a time where something similar happened, but you got yourself out of it. And instead of saying who's to blame, who can help you? And as we shared in our stories, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. As we shared in our stories earlier, is that we realized that a lot of the time we just can't do this alone. Sometimes it's the help of a mentor coach. Sometimes it's the help of a husband, sisters, a doctor, whatever the case, a sponsor, like an AA sponsor, or so really, who can help you? And really building yourself a network, an ecosystem of support around you, right? Does that make sense? Let's hear from you guys.
I think it's people not knowing that they're not successful, being told they're not successful, but not willing to accept help. That's hard. I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I'd love you to come to a Rotary meeting and talk about these things, but talking about them doesn't always, the person listening that needs this help and the self-guidance, they don't recognize it unless, I think it has to be almost on a one-to-one basis. That's so that at a group, I mean, even if I think this person was hearing your presentation today, which is really wonderful, I don't know if they'd even get it. Some people don't get why they're not successful, or why they're not happy, or why they're not pleasing their boss or pleasing the people that they work with. I mean, some people just don't get it. Mm-hmm. I don't think you have the answer for that, but I'm finding that as being a situation, and maybe we're all in that place. And then you don't want to tell that person outright what their problem is, because that's not being kind.
Gotcha. As an educator, how many seeds have you planted, Carol? If you were oh my gosh, did they all blossom at the same time?
No.
Did some of them make it, and did some of them not make it?
Well, I don't know. I haven't really kept it. This has been 2001 when I retired. So I haven't really, my sister has kept in touch with a student in her class for like 29 years. So she knows that this person is making it because of her. Now that's really dedication. But I mean, I really have lost touch with most of the people that were, my students, because they're all adults now and have their families. But I'm sure I've helped people along the way, even out of education.
Of course. And that's what we do. I'm here today to plant seeds, to have the awareness. It's not on me for people to say, oh, I need to change this. It's on their time. I'm not in charge. I'm not the one that decides. I'm just here. I'm planting seeds. Marilyn has invited me to plant seeds of kindness. And we're talking about like the self-compassion and the kindness. And by the way, I'm going to be speaking September 24th at the luncheon. So I don't know if you're going to make it at Spin a Yarn.
What's on September 24th?
September 14th. I'm sorry. Well, we'll talk offline.
Okay, fine.
It's the Inner Wheel luncheon.
Are you in what Inner Wheel are you in?
Yeah, the Fremont.
You're in Mary Lynn's Inner Wheel?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Did you know that I was your twin sister?
I do now.
You said inner wheel, but I didn't. I thought, oh, it must be another branch. It must be someplace else.
No, see, the
Well, you
universe
know
is
what?
connecting us. So let's make sure we keep those signs.
Yeah, okay, great. Okay, thank you. Thank you for
That's-
informing me of that. Bye-bye.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. See, the universe is connecting us. So those are all signs of the universe. So we cannot just like go, I don't want. So anyway, what we're talking about is just like planting these seeds, and the outcome is not up to us. It's really not up to us. As much as I want you to change, really the change is on you. And if my definition of success is you changing your behavior, I'm setting myself up for failure because I have control over myself. The way
So I just talked to a board member today about her secretarial skills. She said, I told you I'm not a good secretary. I said, but I'm going to make you one. Don't give up. Don't give up. I'm going to work with you and you're going to be a great secretary at the end of the year. Okay. So you just have to, like you say, keep working with them.
if they want to.
If they want to.
I know.
Carol wants everybody to do what she wants them to do.
Well, I can't do everything. I can't do every single role and be president. So I've got to turn over what I do to other people and help them be successful, right? Mary Lynn, I can't do it all. So you have to train the people to be better at what they don't think that they're so good at.
Well, I do a completely other workshop on working on your strengths also. So
I think this person knows what her strengths are. She just doesn't think secretarial work is her strength.
Well, maybe it's not.
so just moving on with our topic here, because we're coming to a conclusion. This other principle that I want to talk about, like in terms of resilience, and we all shared kind of an experience that we had that was either, I don't want to say traumatic to make it, but it was a tough experience. You know, we had a problem. And really what we're trying to do, what society or even the workplace wants us to do is to move to this place where there's not a problem. So problem, no problem. But what I'm encouraging you to do is to fill the abundance gap. And the abundance is right here. So kind of bypassing, yeah, we have a problem. Let's go over just keeping it neutral, but let's put you on the path of abundance, you know, taking these lessons and really trying to grow ourselves to our higher purpose, you know, to fulfill our higher purpose. So for me, with 13 and a half years of sobriety, of recovery, now I'm partnering with an institution, the Net Institute Center for Addiction and Recovery Center. And what I do, I train people to go into the workplace to deliver a message of awareness about addiction in the workplace. 70% of people, of illicit users, are actually like currently employed, either part-time or full-time. So that is a problem that is happening. And how can we, ignoring the problem is not going to make it go away. And, you know, just being like, oh, it's not happening in my workplace, it's not going to make it go away. However, planting the seed, if this is happening to you right now, if you are giving up on hope, if you are loved ones, right? Because it's not just us as the individual, as the employee, because when addiction affects a family member, it affects everybody, financially, spiritually. Your time is no longer yours. I know some people who've had their children experience different levels of addiction. I specifically have in mind a girlfriend who had to, out of love and care, and she had to send her daughter off to a wilderness program for 20 months. So for 20 months, she was separated from her child. So addiction is real. It's not just like the grownups, it's the children also. Now her daughter is back, they're transitioning. She is my most resilient friend, because I saw her faith really carry her through that experience. Her faith and her willingness to share with others also. She taught us like some amazing lessons along the way. So she just came to mind right now, and I just had to share that because I have so much respect and admiration for my friend. So anyway, sending her just lots of love right now. All right, so as we are concluding, I always like to end our sessions with, what was your biggest takeaway, or what would you like to hear more? Let's do a Q&A first. Let's do Q&A, and then we'll do your biggest takeaway. As in question and answers. Do you have questions for me?
I have one.
Yeah.
How long have you been? I think it's wonderful that you're providing wellness coaching for educators. That's a needed service. They give a lot back to often their classrooms, right? The school, the parents, and then have little sometimes left for their family, right? Or for themselves. They have to take care of themselves first. How long have you been doing that, serving in that way?
So thank you for asking and acknowledging the hard work of educators, especially the last, since the pandemic. The work has changed completely. I have a lot of teacher friends that have left the profession. A lot of them have left the profession or are considering leaving the profession. I have a friend that left the profession that is making more money now bartending. So I started telling you how I got started. I worked at a school district as a physical education teacher. That's kind of what brought me into the school district. And the school district was going to build a health and wellness center. And my very first question is that, are there going to be services for staff? And the answer was, yeah, like a loose, yeah, like they didn't know. And I made it in my head, my mind, my dream job would be to be the director of the Health and Wellness Center. And I went and I got my master's in health and wellness psychology, and I got connected through those connections of the universe with the National Wellness Institute. I became certified workplace wellness professional. I mean, it's just like snowballed because I opened myself up to, what do we do next? And it was a couple years ago that I decided to become the founder of Teachers Wellness Coaching and Consulting. I don't necessarily work one-on-one. Really what I'm looking for is the system change. The system is not there to support the teachers. There's only so much that you can demand your staff. And if you're not providing services and support system, then it's not going to happen. You are going to lose your workforce, either by them leaving, or you're going to pay the cost by having absenteeism. People are just not going to show up. They're not going to be like productive. They won't be able to be there for their students. So really, to answer your questions, now it's, it started with an idea that we need support for the teachers, to now I'm developing a business plan, and I'm an educator. That's my background. I'm an educator. I love doing these kind of things. I love going in the workplace and talking about different things and crowdsourcing and just having these engaging activities. I love speaking at conferences, and that's what I love to do. But if I'm doing that and the district turns around and they don't do anything, it was not worth it. So really, I don't know if you were there during my opening introduction, but what I do is that I facilitate a conversation between management and union so that we can partner, so that both sides understand the needs that are there, the needs, the resources, and really working at developing, again, an ecosystem, policies and services and practices that really support the teachers in their work. Not working in silo, I say you do, that doesn't work. it causes resentment at work. It creates like this top-down approach, the we-they approach, and that's not how wellness work. Wellness work, the first two letters is we, and that's what we need to do is work together. So to answer your questions, really a couple years ago is when I really started doing this work. I still teach part-time because my business is, I'm sort of starting to grow a little, but I believe it in my heart that there's a need, and I have the credential to back it up. So the credential and the experience. So yes, I'm just really wanting
I have
to.
two more questions. Is the wellness center that the school district created, is it still alive and thriving?
No.
No.
So here's one of the things that happens is that oftentimes, like, they build the building, it's beautiful building. Like one side is for the community, and that is like, they provide. I'm saying no, that's not true. That's not entirely true. It's got a lot more potential. So it does have like a dental service, so the students can come and get their dental service, but not for employees. That's not there anymore. The employee part was grant funded, and I served that position for 2 years, part-time 2 years. And oftentimes that's what happens, is that it's grant funded. And once the grant leaves, it's like, let's just put it on the shelf.
Because decades and decades ago, education included a holistic approach for students, right? And it's important. And then my final question was asking about school infrastructure, because school infrastructure is a significant part of wellness. And I don't just mean wellness physically, right? Optimal spaces that are optimally heated and cooled with lighting and sound and water that students can drink without toxins, no humidity, no mold. That's ideal for everybody in the school building. So I was wondering, did any of it address that?
Yeah. So when I go in to consult, really what I'm doing is it's more like the systems change. So I can do one-on-one, but I really like the systems change. And the environment is one of the components that we look at. Yes, absolutely.
Because those policies exist.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. The policies exist to find and repair water leaks within 72 hours.
There's tons of them, and that is not happening. And that is not necessarily happening.
Right. Yeah, no kidding.
Right? Yeah.
In the United States, school infrastructure is crumbling. That is the truth.
Yeah. Where are you calling from, Pam? Dr. Pam?
I'm in Maryland. Where are you?
Oh, we're in California. I'm in California.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's let someone else ask some questions. I really appreciated your talk today. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. It means a lot.
So what's next for you, Isabel, with your business?
What's next for me? Well, I do have a client in Santa Barbara, and much like you, I was kind of struggling. Like a couple of weeks ago, I was like, oh, I need to be on Instagram and I need to reach out, and I just like made myself crazy, because now I was spending, like, my phone told me that I was spending 5.5 hours. Mm-hmm. Social media and trying to promote and get some traction. So here's what I decided to do. I have a client and I'm going to serve them so well. And that's what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. So that is, the law of attraction and abundance. And I'm just going to go serve them well and just ask them to spread the word. So I do have a conference scheduled with them, and in October, we are in constant communication. I love working with these people. And to be honest, Marilyn, I am open to the universe. Mm-hmm. My experience has been in education, but I am totally open and willing to go in the corporate world as well. Like, I don't discriminate, right? I feel like the workplace really needs some positivity.
Mhm.
And I call myself, like Carol was saying, she's the ambassador. She and her twin sister are the ambassador of fun. Well, I am the ambassador of mental health and well-being.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm. Yeah, I think we're all advocates, whether it's kindness, wellness, all that things all fall into place. Yeah,
yeah.
cool. Anybody have any other questions for Isabel?
No, she did a wonderful job. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be at that meeting. I have another organization that has a meeting on that day. I don't know how to be to 2 meetings in place, and on Zoom at the same time. I guess I could do that. That's hard.
Yeah.
Well, Carol, I just met you, and I know that the universe is going to place us on one another's paths at some time. So we can't do it all.
Mary Lynn is planning meetings around my busy schedule too. For Inner Will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mary
That's
Lynn
wonderful.
Harris could be a member of Inner Will.
Well,
Mary,
we'll see.
You could be an Inner Will member.
Yeah, not right now. I'm too busy.
I know you are.
So, Carol, let me ask you, what's your biggest takeaway from today's?
Whoops, sorry, went away. Hold on. Oh, people kept calling me. Sorry. Oh, shoot. Shoot.
Okay, we can go with either Marilyn or Dr. Pam. I
Oh
know
my God,
Arthur is
sorry,
our
I went
tech
away.
support. So Arthur, thank you for being here.
Where
I'm
is
not
it
sure if you're listening, or maybe you want to chime in with your takeaway.
Sorry, went away. Sorry. Oh my God, where is it?
It's okay, Carol. Anyway.
Sorry, I need to. People keep calling me and disrupting me. I try to get sound here now. I don't have sound.
Yeah,
How do I get
we can hear
sound?
you. We can
You
hear
know,
you.
I have to say,
I don't have
also-
sound. And
Okay, that's fine. We
I
have
think
sound, and maybe we can mute Carol until she can.
Yeah.
Okay, because we can hear her.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so that's also something that Carol is just completely like showing what's happening, right? I'm booked twice. People are calling me, like, we are bombarded with information. We are overstimulated most of the time. And it is up to us to make the choice to be like, you know what, I'm just going to do one thing at a time. And that's kind of what you asked, what's next for me?
Yeah.
I'm going to serve this one client so well.
Mm-hmm.
So, really, and some of the things that I do now is when I go on a walk, I leave my phone home. I go grocery shopping, I leave my phone home. I go to bed at night, I power this thing off and I leave it in the kitchen. I don't bring it in the bed with me. These little intentional actions really pay off at the end, because a lot of people, that's how they're feeling. Like there's this is a phrase that I came up with, like this self-imposed sense of urgency. The self-imposed sense of urgency, because someone texts me right now, I need to answer right now. We all lived long enough that we know what it was like to someone called and we weren't home. Oh, too bad. And then came the answering machine. Someone called, we weren't home. Oh, they left it on the voicemail. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I feel like our brain didn't have the time to adapt to the amount of technology that has been thrown at us. And the last 18 months with the pandemic, that just is skyrocketed. And then you got people trying to manage family, professional, self-care. I mean, it just, people are really trying to figure it out right now. And these small actions, these little things that we as an individual can do, like I'm all about systems change, but I'm also all about personal responsibility. So one does, it needs to be together.
Absolutely. Yeah. We all have to be accountable for what we say and what we want, and just say, yeah. And so I'm here to serve, the people that signed up to speak, and to serve them the best I can. And that's what I'm here for. And for right now. And then tomorrow, the next day is another day and another day, so I have my own agenda to do too.
Absolutely. And
anyway.
I'm just so grateful that you provided me with this platform to talk about resilience, because, it's like planting seeds here and there, and we need to continue doing that.
Yeah.
And we need to share, what I do when I share my experience from recovery in recovery from addiction is that I'm being very authentic. Like, I'm being very real. It's not something that I made up. I experienced it, and
Mhm.
people need to hear that. And so we hear it from Hollywood, right?
Right.
Oh, this, Drew Barrymore, good on her, she's sober. But I can't really reach out to Drew.
Yeah.
Hey, Drew, how did you stop drinking? How
Yeah.
did you know that you were drinking too much? And, those kind of things. So just putting
Yeah.
myself out there and being available, and just for people to have one more person to reach out to.
Yeah. And I think it's just like you were saying, it's like being a role model for somebody else. If they have a problem, they can reach out to you or text you or email you, or you can send them on to another resource in their area that can help them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Good. Well, thank you very much. And I am going to pause the YouTube. Just pause it. Great.
Well, thank you, immensely, Marilyn. This has been like really, really great.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for coming and speaking, even if it was just you and I.
It's all
Which,
good. Dr.
you know,
Pam had some great things to share. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Yes.
And-
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
There
you.
she
Thank
is.
you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think we all have something to share. And it's all, like you said, planting the seeds in which we need to do for ourselves and maybe help somebody else. Because whatever we share, somebody else will say, oh, I could do that, or maybe I don't want to do that, but what else can I do?
Yeah. Dr. Pam, let me ask you, and I know Marilyn needs to jump off here, but briefly,
I'm here.
what do you do?
I'm known as the education doctor. So
Oh.
regardless of the group, private, corporate, education, even in holistic health centers, it doesn't matter, right? I educate people, and that's what I've done my whole career. Yeah.
So you kind of do what I do.
My doctoral degree focused on stress, beliefs, and meditation in students.
Oh my gosh. Are you on LinkedIn?
Okay, this is embarrassing. Okay. So I'm just going to be clear. I'm 54 and I was late to the party to Facebook. I only recently started Instagram, have never signed up for LinkedIn, not on Twitter. I need to do it. People continue to tell me I need to do it. The whole purpose of delaying to the party on all of them was because I don't want something else to check.
Yes. Amen.
But,
Yeah.
Isabel, what you said in your talk, when things keep showing up, you keep being asked.
Well,
All
I
right.
think,
So
I think
right now, my email address is showing up in the chat, and my phone number. Write that down, please, and thank you, because I want to stay connected with you. Marilyn, I already have your information, but Dr. Pam, did I spell it right? Yeah.
and then of course, LinkedIn.
Is that your cell, Isabel?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Mary Lynn and I talk fairly regularly.
Mhm.
Okay. Here, I'll put mine in. You want me to do that?
Sure. Marilyn, you know that we're back being live on YouTube right now?
No, we're not live anywhere.
Oh, it says it. It says it at the top.
Oh, yeah, but I paused it.
Oh, okay.
So what happens, it's paused, so it's not going anywhere. And then the next person that speaks will be, I'll hit it again. Yesterday, I kept stopping it. And Art said, just pause it. And then that means, because what happens is after this, if it's, I don't like your, after these, what happens is if I just kept closing it, and what happens, then they play a video that's not even related to kindness next.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So if I just pause it and hit play for the next speaker, then it stays in congruent, like the kindness
Gotcha.
streaming. It's separate, but it's all together.
Gotcha. Dr. Pam, I know we'll be connected because the universe was there to connect us. You know, if not in the coming week or whatever, you know, maybe I'll just shoot you an email to have you in my, yeah. Anyway, thank you so much, Arthur.
Yeah, thank you, Isabel.
For being
Thank you.
on the back end there and supporting this this amazing opportunity. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, Isabel. So appreciate it. And we'll stay in touch, I'm sure. We'll have
Wonderful
a conversation.
Okay. Thank you, ladies.
Okay, thank you.
And Arthur, bye.
Bye. So I think Dr. Wellanini is up next, right? Pamela.
How are you?
You want me to call you Dr. Pamela or Dr. Wallentini?
Doesn't matter. You can call me Pam.
Yeah, because I was, yeah, it does say live, but I just paused it. And then the next speaker, I'll hit play again. And then that way that, because I noticed that yesterday too, is that when I was said, close it off next and then just record, that's what was happening. They would play a video in between that had nothing to do with it. And I'm like, oh my God.
So then it sounded like pause takes care of that for you.
No, Art isn't doing any of that. I'm doing that. But it's
Yeah,
just
but that's
that-
what I mean, the pause when you pause it.
yeah. So he just said pause it and then the next time play, because what happens is when the video quits, they throw in and play another video, like another hour.
You know what would be neat, Mary Lynn? Throw in a kindness commercial.
Yeah.
Well, Arthur, is it something you can edit or no?
Well, he's not editing the videos.
No. Because wouldn't it be neat if in the middle was your kindness commercial?
Yeah, well, I can do that when I edit the videos.
Okay.
But once it's on live on YouTube, it's not something you could stop. I guess you could stop and edit it and then throw it back on. But the reason why I decided to live stream is then that way more people can watch it.
Okay.
Right? I don't know. What do you think, Art? I don't think he's here. I think he's just got the window open.
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
No, it's, I think what it does is when you pause on YouTube, what it does is it plays videos that are in relationship to kindness.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, instead of randomly picking like a music video or anything like that, it takes the video in relationship to what's going on. I mean, I noticed that yesterday. I mean, I can check it again here real quick and see. And I also
Yeah, so-
noticed that it was. Hold on a second here.
Yeah, so I'm just pausing it.
Yeah, I want to check that again anyway. Let's see what's going on here.
Yeah.
Every time
Mary
I try,
Lynn, look at you. You're doing it all. I love it.
every time I try to type in and search "heart at work," I get all these videos on the heart.
Yeah. I know. They beat me out every time.
Let me try a different way here.
And then Mary Lynn, it's tomorrow too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So what happened is the schedule of speakers. So what happened yesterday, Dr. Araya, then we had open networking and nobody came. It was just me. And then Kimberly came on at 4 and she left because there was no audience for her. And then today Pamela came just before you were trying to get on. And so we moved Pamela over to noon on Thursday. And so today will end at 2:00, which is great because I got other stuff that I got to get done. And then tomorrow, Thursday, it'll run from 9 till 3 unless Tammy is willing to go for another date. I don't think she's willing. So the problem I've been having is that people have using Gmail accounts, and all
Okay.
my emails are going into the Gmail account. They haven't whitelisted our email address. So it's like
Oh, you mean
Carol,
like in spam?
yeah.
Oh.
So Carol was complaining, and I said, well, Carol, look at your Gmail and promotions. Oh, but I don't look there. And I said, well, that's where all my emails are. So I've tried to tell people on Facebook group, if you have a Gmail, please look in promotions, because that's where all my emails are. So for some reason, they're going there rather than to the person directly. But anyway, that's okay. So let's get started. I'm sure you have other things to do than chat it up. So let me,
You want me to present with no one here?
yeah, I'm here. Art's here.
Okay. You got to make me host because I have to share my screen.
Yeah, I know. I'll do that.
Okay.
No worries.
Now you guys need paper and something to write with.
Oh, okay.
It's,
Well, I got that around. Okay,
Okay.
let me just let me record on my computer, and then go to and then I'll go to live stream and hit pound or play. Okay, hello. Thank you, and coming back to the Kindness Conference. And today, right now, I have Dr. Pamela, and she's going to speak about her favorite topic. And it's all about stress and health. So thank you, Pamela, for joining us today. And would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and carry on?
Thanks,
Thank you.
Mary Lynn. Thank you, Arthur, for being behind the scenes and helping us with the tech piece of it. I really appreciate it. Yeah, Mary Lynn invited me to speak at this kindness conference, and I willingly said and happily said yes. I really believe in this work. And so today we're going to focus on stress, health, and the side effects of kindness. But what I want everyone to know for sure is that you'll leave today and you'll have something that could add tons of value to you and to others. It's fun to try. It's absolutely free. And you don't even really need to believe it'll work for it to make a difference. So we're going to begin with an activity. So I want to make sure that everyone grabs a piece of paper and something to write with. I'll give you just a few minutes about my journey. I was exposed to mold in a public school building in 2006, and a couple other components to my life helped me to stay focused on wellness solutions. And I'm grateful for the people that have showed up in my life to help me grow in this way. I feel grateful. I have been an educator and entrepreneur for a combined 30 years now. And I earned my doctoral degree from Northeastern University. I'm known as the education doctor. My research focused on stress, beliefs, and the beliefs of college students, community college students. And I'm passionate now about making a difference in the lives of others with wellness solutions. So this first part of this activity, I like to refer to this segment of it as feel good. And part of, especially during the pandemic, we need solutions that cost no money, that work. And so I want you to, let's open our minds and hearts and explore together. And so this first activity requires you to listen to different sounds, and I will play them, let them play for a few minutes. And then you're going to write down on that paper what you notice. Just write down what you notice. You can't get it wrong. Okay. And on your paper, write the letters A, B, C, D, and E. So that, remember, you're just going to listen to the sounds and you're going to write down whatever comes to mind. What do you notice? Are there any questions about this exploration activity? we're going to go to sound B. Take just a few seconds to write down what you notice about song letter A. Everybody can hear the music okay?
So what is it that we're supposed to be writing down about A, B, C, D, E?
Could you hear that, Mary Lynn, the
Yeah.
music?
Yeah,
Okay, so you just write down anything that you notice.
okay,
Anything that you notice.
okay,
So as we listen to song A, write down anything that you noticed. You can't get it wrong,
okay,
okay?
okay.
Now, let me do a room reset because someone just joined us.
Mm-hmm.
We are listening to sounds, and on a piece of paper, you're writing down what you notice as the sounds, we move through the different sounds. And now we're on the second sound. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
We'll move to sound C. And let's move to D. And we'll move to the final sound. So let's take a minute. What did you notice about the different sounds? Anything you noticed at all about the different sounds?
Just basically, some of them have colors to me and some of them have no color.
Okay. And did you notice anything that you thought or that you felt?
Well, some of the music was happy, upbeat, and some of it was calm and relaxing.
Okay. Did anyone notice anything maybe physical in their body? If it was, say, a calming, as Marilyn described, calming music versus upbeat.
Yes, B. B was calming. I didn't hear A, but B was calming.
Okay. And
And
what did you?
D was D or E, I don't know, with two. Oh no, C was really loud and not melodic. I like B.
Okay. All right. What's important for people to understand about sound is that we entrain to our environment, and some of us feel it more or less than others. So if we are attempting to focus on an activity that requires concentration, then we want to play music that we don't necessarily recognize. And because we entrain to our environment, that means our heart rate and our breathing match the environment. And so if you're playing music and you need to focus and you're playing music that you can sing along to or that has a fast beat, that can be distracting. So if we're mindful about the music we're playing for the activity at hand, it's significant. Now I'll pause there and let me give you an overview for today. We're going to just briefly talk about stress, health, and side effects of kindness. Very quickly, body basics. Why is it that we should care about this to begin with? And you got a taste of one sound way to reduce stress, and it's fun and it's free. And then we'll talk about why so many health issues. So first, where it considers stress and health, stress impacts the physical body, and unmanaged stress can lead to anxiety. And since we're in unprecedented times, it's likely that stress is higher for everyone. I want to make sure and take a minute to tell you that during my doctoral research, the community college students were asked, this was before the pandemic, they were asked to complete a questionnaire that anyone can have access to. I can give that at the end of the presentation. There's a 10 question and a 14 question questionnaire, and it asks you to rate your perceived stress in the most recent month. And the students reported, and this is prior to the pandemic, they reported, there were two groups. They reported high levels of stress and moderate levels of stress. No one before the pandemic that participated in the study reported low stress levels. So now if we can all just imagine where we are today, right? So
Right.
Your takeaway is unmanaged stress can lead to anxiety. And let's move on to your body basics. So we're all made up of cells, trillions of cells. And I want everyone to think heart cells and lung cells and skin cells and brain cells and so on. And these cells, I want you to think of them like little batteries, maybe 1 volt batteries. I do believe it's Dr. Bruce Lipton that maybe mentions 1.5 volts, each one 1.5 volts. So just imagine all these volts of energy in us, okay? That's important. And then why should I care about the cells? Why should I care about reducing stress? Stress can shut down our body systems. The point of stress is to make sure that if we are in an emergency situation, that it's flight or fight. So if people continuously have unmanaged stress, it's impacting the body, it's impacting the cells, and potentially in negative ways. And then you see on your screen here, well, we should all care because before the pandemic, this is what the CDC said. Okay, this is a big deal because chronic diseases are on the rise. No one wants a chronic disease. And according to the CDC, 6 in 10 adults have a chronic disease and 4 out of 10 have 2 or more. So today, my hope is that when you leave, you will try some of these strategies, all based in sound. So what are some of the stressors on the body? Aging is a stressor. The food we eat, the actual stress, the assignment, the work. Mary Lynn may have had elevated stress levels planning the conference, right? We all have different stressors, okay? And you've done a great job, Mary Lynn. An illness provides a stressor to the body. Environmental toxins, the air we breathe, is also stressors on the body. So you guys are probably thinking, this is supposed to be, where's the good news? Okay, so I just want to recap that the body's made up of trillions of cells, that stress impacts the body. It can negatively impact health, and then we reviewed different types of stressors. But now I want to bring us to the good news, okay? The side effects of kindness, and I want to give a shout out to Dr. Where is that book? Dr. David Hamilton. Anyway, I have a picture. Here it is. Dr. David Hamilton wrote The 5 Side Effects of Kindness. And I just very briefly made a list here. And this is the good news, okay? And you have to be kind to yourself first. So while we started exploring that activity with sound, we're going to return to it in a minute. But what happens is if we are kind to ourselves and help reduce our stress levels, we're going to feel better, right? We're going to do good, hopefully, and hopefully you'll be healthier. But Dr. David Hamilton says that it makes us happier. It's good for the heart. It slows aging. It improves the relationships, and it's contagious. So let's engage in this kindness movement that Mary Lynn has been working on. It sounds like now for almost a decade. Do I have that right, Mary Lynn?
18 years.
You did. Okay. So if we have less stress individually, we are more likely to be kind. It is likely when we feel better, it's just easier to be kinder. And we've all been in situations where we meet someone who's not being kind. And I listened to Brian Byro at the last conference with Mary Lynn, and we need to be kind when people are unkind to us. Well, if each of us is feeling less stress, we're likely to have a better chance at being kind when someone's being not so kind with us. Mm-hmm. So let's move to this part that you know. I want to connect to something that you know, because if some of you are sitting there and you're skeptical about, well, how can this sound really make that big a difference? Okay, you want to pick sound on purpose. Well, you know, the NIH and the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, they formed a partnership. I think it's been about 5 or 6 years ago now, and their whole focus is sound health. That's their whole focus. And if I connect, I bet someone in the audience is aware that if someone has a stroke, music therapists have, and let's say the person has a stroke and they're not talking. Let's imagine they're not talking, okay? They've lost some speech. Well, music therapists will play songs that they played when they were young, or their favorite song when they were, you know, in their 20s, if they had their stroke later in life, and they'll start to sing the song, and the music therapist will use that singing to help them regain their speech. So that's something that usually people can connect to, okay? And then here's what I want you to remember. Use these strategies that I'm going to show you in a minute to reduce stress in the car, on the job, at home. It doesn't matter where. And if you're in a learning environment, in front of a group of people, if you're a coach, if you're in the classroom, it doesn't matter if you're in a conference room. These strategies work there too. But we're going to choose sound specifically and on purpose, okay? So if you're individually working on something that is silent and reading and studying, then you want your music to be low volume, unfamiliar. You know, if you have to read something, you don't want to focus on singing a song, right? And you want slower beats per minute. And then if you want calming, you want below 60 beats per minute. Because remember, I said our body's entrained to the environment. Have you guys ever been in your house and the loud car zooms by and the bass is beating, or you're at the red light and it's like they're in the car next to you and you feel like your heart is beating right with the music? Well, so I want you to be mindful when you're picking music. Now, energy, we want energy when people walk into live events. It's very important to play the music that's upbeat. There's feel-good chemicals in the brain, right? So we want to encourage that. We want to increase the energy. Don't do that if you're trying to put a 4-year-old to sleep. Okay, that'll be problematic. All right, and now for the focus today, we're going to talk about health and healing frequencies, okay? So let me play this one for you. Just see what you notice. I think this will play. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
like nails on a chalkboard. When we get to how to do this, don't pick that one. Everyone is different, okay? Some people listen to this and they're like, oh, I feel like I'm in a spa, right? Okay, so let's, any questions so far?
No,
good
it's
stuff.
good. It's really good.
Okay. So this is what I want you to know, that these are the simple steps, okay? You go to YouTube, whether you're on your phone, and I'll share some stories with you. I've taught other groups this, okay? And I've used it with groups that I didn't teach anything about it, and I've watched what happens. And I've worked with it individually, okay? In households, right, my own. So it's simple steps. You go to YouTube, you search healing frequencies. If you want to search specifically healing frequency stress or anxiety or repair energy, and you want healing frequency and anxiety, or I really have my favorites, like I love the healing frequency, the positive morning music, put in whatever you want and find one, okay? And don't judge it. I just need you to do it. Don't even think about it, right? Don't think about it. Just do it. And then you push play. And here's what's very interesting. Remember those cells I was talking about? Remember those volts of energy, the little cells like batteries? Well, we hear, just to keep it simple, right? Think energy, frequency, and vibration, right? So just play it the lowest volume possible. Or if you love it, play it louder. But my point is, I will put this phone in my purse, have it on very low. I will walk in grocery stores and in places and have it on in my car. Nobody comments, just watch. Or if you have a grandchild and they're having friends over, or you're in the car, the car when the grandkids get tired and they're arguing in the back, don't say a word, but be at a red light. Be at a red light. Push play on one of your calming frequencies. Don't even tell the children. Don't tell the teenager. Have it so low in a volume, play it and just observe. Okay? So the reason this can be so powerful is people don't even need to understand or have taken this workshop with us today. You can impact people in your workspaces. You can impact people in your family. Your animals, just do it, try it, and observe. And I'll tell you this story. I was in front of a group of attorneys prior to the pandemic, and they think a lot, and they have a lot of stress, okay? And thinkers, right? I said, so you don't even need to believe in it for it to work. And I said, if somebody's willing to try this and reach out to me, I said, when you're preparing for litigation or you're reading the documents you're reading, I said, just try it. And so I said, if you're willing, text me what's happening. So it was the following Monday, and a few of them were texting me, oh my gosh, this is working. So just try it. Be open to trying it. Skepticism is good, but you have to be open, okay? Let's move to the next part. Mary Lynn, I need your help. Are you keeping an eye on the time for me?
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Okay, thank you. Okay, this is the piece that we've talked about, the sound for different purposes. So let's just spend a few minutes in here so you can really see the difference, okay? I have to move our faces. Okay, now watch. At the beginning of an event like this, And if it's after lunch and there's been a break for a conference, a business meeting, you're at work, it could be in front of a group that's learning, and you notice that people are losing focus. You can feel the difference. And then at the end, we might play.
All my bags are packed, I'm ready to go. I'm standing here outside.
Okay, so let me make sure I didn't skip. Okay. So I want to take a minute. This will lead to the prizes, okay? So why do we age? Dr. Robertson Ward wrote a book, and it's Healthy Cells, Healthy Life. And we age because the cells in our body work less efficiently. And if we are stressed, those cells were really causing a problem in our body. And aging, if we're healthy and well, according to Dr. Ward, we age at we lose these cells called redox signaling molecules at a rate of about 10% every decade of life beginning at puberty. So I want you guys to remember, you want to attempt to reduce stress, because we want to maximize the talking between the cells so that the cells do what they're supposed to do to keep us well, okay? And then I want you also to know that there's significant research on this redox signaling molecules. I just want you to know that. I'm not going to spend any time here. Understand that there's the 23rd International Conference on Paris Redox. They even had it last year, and some of the highly regarded researchers and global thought leaders attend on redox. And so why should you even care? Well, if you decide redox signaling molecules, exactly what the body produces and uses to keep cells functioning properly, is now available. It's been available for 11 years, okay? And so now we move from the feel good portion of the talk to the look good. And I'm going to give away some prizes, okay? So what I've done is I have a slide here. The look good prize, you can see here what's happening. In this tube is redox. I sent Mary Lynn quite a few tubes as a gift. But if you would like to win that prize, keep that in mind. I'm going to give you the steps, okay? No chemicals in the tube. And then do good. So I'm going to do good, give prizes again. And I want to highlight some people, some of the work that I read that's really made a significant difference in my life. You'll notice that earlier, or you may remember, I mentioned Brian Biro. Well, Brian Biro wrote the book you see on the screen, and it is the best, littlest book I've ever read. And after I earned my doctoral degree, I didn't want to read a lot. So when he sent me this book, and it was a gift, I didn't even know he was going to send it, I was so grateful, okay? It's a quick read, and I refer to it, all right? Mm-hmm. And that first page, more than any other single factor, the future success of your organization depends on kindness. So just remember, first, be kind to yourself, try those healing frequencies, get in that space, and then when people are not being so kind to us, we're more likely to be kind to them. And I loved when Brian Biro said that. So this is one prize. So we have a tube, we have a book. You have to remember these now. And then I talked to you about David Hamilton's book. That's the third prize. And then Anne Louise Gittleman, she's referred to as the First Lady of Nutrition. And I hope I'm not misspeaking, it's either 9 or 11 New York Times best-selling books. And so this Radical Longevity is, and she just released it. So that's another gift. So anything you can do to take care of you then can spill over. It's easier when we feel better. Mm-hmm. And listen, I want to make sure all of you know, kindness is often seen as a weakness. That's just not true. I was going to say hogwash or poppycock. I don't know. But if you can be kind with yourself first and kind to others, it spills over. We need that so badly today. Okay, so there's 4 prizes. Now watch what you got to do. And don't worry, I'm not calling you. I'm not spamming anybody. I'm not doing that. I don't have time. Okay, it's not how I roll. It's not kind. I don't like it. So if you go to this website, you'll scroll down, okay, and you'll put your name and your email in, and then you'll type the word win. That's how I know you listened and were here today. And next to it, because you never know, there only might be 4 people that do this. Put your preferred prize. How's that for kindness? Okay. So go to the website. There's just a little form on my website. Type the word win. And then if you have a preference of the gel or a particular book, put that. Okay. Any questions about how to win?
Can you put the URL in chat?
Sure.
Because can't click it from your presentation.
Okay, let's do, that's a good idea. So I really love doing this also in person because it's palpable because I can control all the speakers in the big room. So you might not have felt it completely. I don't know how loud it came through your computers, you know, but it's
Mary
so
Lynn,
much
driving,
fun.
can't do that.
Pardon
What'd
me?
you
Do that,
say?
driving. I'm driving, I can't do that.
Okay, well, we'll send you the link.
Send me the link and I'll do it. I don't know if I got all the information, but I'm trying to listen and drive at the same time.
Yeah, well, you'll get the call later anyway.
Okay,
So-
good. Thank you.
Okay, let me put
Right.
that in the chat. And yeah, and so then that way I can, and I'll reach out to you by email or call because you'll have to tell me where you want me to send it.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to do that. So I want everyone to be open to trying the healing frequencies.
Yeah.
Okay. It's I use
amazing.
them. Yeah.
Thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you, Mary Lynn. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So Carol, do you have any questions? No.
Mm-hmm.
We better not ask Carol. I think she's
She's driving.
No, she was really great.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved your energy. I loved the thing about sounds. I know sounds are really healing, but yeah, you had a really great presentation, and I'm going to try the YouTube. I'm going to try the YouTube thing that you told us about. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're welcome.
Yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I like the music part of it. You know, it's just like I don't really think about listening to music when I'm working, but I do for myself. That the more calming it is, the more work I get done. And the idea about playing music before the speakers is a great idea. Yeah. So thank you.
When it's silent and people come in. And then I remember when I didn't tell the audience this, but I spent 1 year on a learning community that focused on the brain and music.
Mhm.
And I remember my first fairly large, I guess there was maybe 90 people at that workshop. And I remember one of the people that was in the learning community with me for the year, and I was presenting. I had some data to present. And I had the music, and as everybody walked in, right, because people don't usually like meetings or workshops, or maybe they do, but everybody's feeling some kind of way wherever they are in that moment. And so I was using the music, and when the people were coming in, and he looked at me, he goes, "You're using what you learned." And I said, "Well, yeah." I said it works. It helps me remain happy and upbeat too. So it was priceless. And then I know that he then used it, right?
Yeah.
It only works if we try it.
Yeah, that's exactly true. That's exactly true. Great. Well, thank you very much, Pamela, for giving that great presentation. And it was energetic and fun as you always are. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, you guys have a good day.
Yeah, yeah, you too.
Okay.
So are you gonna stick around or are you hopping off?
I actually have a 2 o'clock meeting, but if it ends in 30 minutes, I'll be back.
Okay,
Do you
okay.
have one more speaker today?
Yeah, I have Barbara.
Okay.
Let's see. I have Barbara and Karen, and then it's over.
Oh, well then, yeah, I can. So
Because a
Barbara
couple
and
of
Karen.
one speaker dropped out, and then I moved Paula till Thursday. So I'll just have to. I'll send out another blurb out to everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I can't wait. So I will make it back today. I
okay,
will.
okay.
This will be, it might, if Barbara's next, it might be in the middle, Mary Lynn. Okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
Mary Lynn, I saw the link on July 25th for today.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that everybody's Gmail, if you have a Gmail account,
Yes.
all the new links went in there.
Well, I don't go to Gmail. You should come to my. Oh,
I
I've
know,
never
but
gone
what
to-
I'm saying is that anybody that has a Gmail account and what you do, it's gone into your Gmail promotions tab.
I don't know where that is. I have
No,
no
but
idea.
I'm just saying, I'm trying to explain it to you. So
Okay.
the
Well, I'm
reason
in the
why
car
people,
trying to avoid traffic accident too. So.
okay,
kinda
well,
hard.
I'll talk to you later about
Yeah,
it.
you'll have to talk to me later about that. Okay, good.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay,
Who's your next speaker, Mary Lynn?
as Barbara, she's on at 11, so we've got about 10 minutes or so.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah, because everybody was complaining that they're not getting the notices, and I just said, so we figured it out through Kimberly that everything that I've been sending is ending at people's promotions tab because they haven't entered my email address in your address book or your email account say it's okay, I receive it. So I don't know why it's happening like that, but it is.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
So that's what I'm
It's
just saying.
it's a procedure. Oh my God. I don't know how you do any of this.
So that's just how it's that's what's happening. So I will, even if I send out another message and people say, well, I didn't get it. Do you have Gmail? Yeah. I says, did you look in your promotions tab? Because you would have to go online to your Gmail account to find that promotions tab. It's not likely going to happen in your phone.
Okay, but I had this link today. Did you just send that to me now this morning?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, because you said, yeah, I don't have the link. And I says, yeah, because it's in your promotions tab. So
Yeah,
rather
I
than
don't. Yeah,
explain
you
it to
said
you-
that. I went to look to see what that was, and I did go to Gmail, obviously. So, I'm a newbie at Gmail, so.
Yeah, but I mean, just saying, a lot of people use Gmail for the business email, which unfortunately, a lot of their stuff goes into the promotions tab. So nothing, I can't control over that. I mean,
Well, maybe this
that-
afternoon, when, if you're not too busy, after the conference, maybe you could just kind of walk me through that. I have some time this afternoon.
yeah, yeah. So, but I'm just saying, yeah, it's an issue for everybody, because I can't, yeah, but I can, yeah, we can go over that later.
Okay, great.
I'm gonna put a little music on. I have to go to the little girl's room.
Yeah, just put the music on, that's great. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to do that. Okay. I'll put myself on mute right now. Okay.
Okay.
Notte di luce, una notte infinita, una lettera che non sarà mai spedita. Cos'è la realtà? Io non lo so più. Ad occhi aperti, il mio sogno sei tu. Io ti amo. gente, mano per mano, nessuno capisce quello che provo. Respiro il silenzio dei tuoi pensieri. Un giorno sarai tutto quello che speri. Io ti amo. Sì, ti notte di luce, una notte infinita, una lettera che non sarà mai spedita.
That's better. Okay.
Ti hace falta come l'acqua, si es tu mayor necesidad. Si por su amor eres feliz y el mundo es gris cuando no estás. Si no concibes vivir sin verla, sin duda. Es la mujer que tú soñabas. Si ella te quiere y es el amor de tu vida, regale todo, amala sin medida.
Hey, I'm trying to go try to put myself on Bluetooth. Let's see.
Okay, I'm over in LinkedIn sending a message.
Que conocerla fue milagro, un regalo que te dio la vida.
Oh. All right, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, good. Got my Bluetooth on. Okay, so I'm picking up food as we speak. So I'll go get my food. I'll get my food. Ah. Morning. Ah.
Si no concibes vivir sin verla sin duda. Si ella te quiere y es el amor de tu vida, entregaré todo, amarás sin medida. Conocerla fue un milagro, regalo que te dio la vida. Dijiste que te ibas y tus labios sonreían, mas tus ojos eran trozos del dolor. No quise hablar, solo al final te dije adiós, solo adiós. No sé si fue orgullo o a qué cosa lo atribuyo.
Here's Barbara. Hello, Barbara.
Hello.
Hi. Let me turn off the music. There. I'll pause it. How's it going?
Everything is going fine. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. We're just having a little problem with people showing up because they can't find their notices, but if you're using Gmail, going to the promotions tab. So
Okay.
they're not using their own website email, they're using their Gmail.
Okay,
And
I
so that's
see.
causing great havoc for everybody. I send them too many times probably.
Yes. I got it. I got all your emails.
Yeah, so and then Carol's on the line. She's on her doing food deliveries, but she's available. Art is here.
Mary Lynn.
Yeah.
I found the link on the 25th, but on July 25th, sent to me as an email for today, the 28th.
Yeah.
So people might want to, look at that. I don't know.
I know. I keep telling everybody about that, Carol, but if they're not looking in the promotions tab, they're not going to see it.
Yes, you're right.
I mean, I can send 10 emails like Carol suggested.
I know. 10
I
emails and they wouldn't see it.
Updating people. Well,
Yes.
I do, but it's in the
Okay.
Gmail promotions tab.
I will learn that later.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
And so is
Roger.
our speaker here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Barbara's
I'm
just
here.
arrived.
She knew how to get on. She knew how to get on.
Oh, yes.
She was getting all my emails.
Okay, good.
I was
Okay.
getting all your emails.
I will listen in my car. I will listen as I'm driving along.
Okay.
And I have to say, Marilyn, you did an amazing job. You sent, I think, 3 or 4 emails with all the information.
Yeah.
You sent me an email a few hours back with the exact link. So I think you did an amazing job.
Okay. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you. Yeah, because Carol suggested, where everybody's so busy, maybe you have to almost tell them every day. And I said, yeah, but if they don't get them, they're not going to get it.
No. I know how people are. Everybody's busy.
Yeah.
But are you recording?
Yeah, not yet, but I will be.
Okay.
So whenever you're ready, I just do a preamble of chatting.
Watch a replay, if they can watch the replay.
Yeah, I'm live streaming on YouTube, so people can go there and listen to it after. And Art, my tech guy, is blasting it out through other social media for me while we're doing this. So if you're ready, I'll hit record.
Okay.
And hello, welcome back, everybody, for the kindness conference. I have Barbara with us now, and she's joining us. It's now 11 a.m. Pacific time.
It's
And
8 p.m.
thank you,
for
Barbara,
me.
for joining us, joining me on the Kindness at Work conference. I know we've had Chad before on a podcast, and you're really out there promoting kindness. So I thought, oh, another kindness ambassador. Great.
Absolutely.
So anyway, go ahead. I'll just mute myself and it's all yours.
Okay. Well, first I'm going to maybe tell a little bit why I'm so passionate about kindness. Because, some people are passionate about business, some are about sports. And why passionate about kindness? And that goes back a very long time. Since childhood, I have been told I was too kind. Barbara, you're too kind. You're too kind for this world. You're too kind. And I wondered, too kind, what does that mean? Why are people saying to me, you are too kind? Well, do I have to be less kind than in life? And I wondered, what place, this earth, what place did I ended up in? That I have to be less kind to move on in life. People said, well, if you're too kind, people will take advantage. And that always struck me. And like everybody else, when I grew up, you could say there's a sense of purity or innocence that you're losing, and you are getting more and more molded by society. And that childhood, you could say, purity of being called too kind, I didn't lose it, but I was more holding back. Like I would hold back in kindness because people said, well, you can be too kind. If you're too kind, people will take advantage of you. And that has always, I have never understood that. And in growing up, I grew up like everybody else, going to high school, college degree, and more you get like programmed and conditioned by your culture, your society, your peers, your parents. And I led, you could say, a pretty ordinary life. I married, I started a construction business at the age of 28, which is 23 years ago. I chose a construction business because my parents did that. So pretty much of my life was based on unconscious choices. But then at the age of 32, I was diagnosed with a stage 4 skin cancer. And I was told, as a young mom, we had 3 children in 4 years, and my youngest was 2 months old at that moment. And I was told that I had practically no more than 6 months to live. And when you are faced with such news, shocking news, so suddenly, it just shifts something within you, or it's an opportunity for shift. And it shifted with me. So there were 2 main lessons that I had from my cancer. And first of all, it was when I was in hospital, one of the first nights, I was very sad because I didn't have my babies with me. But then I was thinking, okay, the babies where they are now, there were 2 toddlers, a baby, they were with my parents and parents-in-law. They are surrounded by love and warmth. They don't even realize what's going on. They felt like they were on a vacation. So I told myself, worrying about the babies is senseless. They are surrounded by love. So what is it that is in my power right now, in my hospital bed, that I can do to help myself? There was one important thing that I could do. It was my mind, my thoughts. And I decided that I would not let in one negative thought, that I would focus on the positive thoughts only. And that's what I have done during that entire time. I had several surgeries and 1 year of chemotherapy. And the second thing was that I made a promise to myself, because when you're faced to death, you are thinking about your legacy. So at 32, I thought, okay, if I die right now, would I be happy with my legacy? And the answer was no. I wouldn't be happy, because I had lived up to the expectations of other people until that moment. So that's, you could say, reconnecting with my passion for kindness. So I started, after recovering, I took my second chance for life with both hands. And I started a journey of self-discovery. Read books on self-development, spirituality. You have to know I was still running my construction business because I could not close doors like that. We had huge investments. And I went to conferences, retreats, and bit by bit, I felt like my passion to guide people, to coach people. I followed coaching certification courses, and I became more and more passionate in rediscovering myself and connecting with myself. I felt that voicing that kindness, and especially bringing a message into the world that kindness is not weakness. Kindness is a very powerful response. Kindness is a deliberate response most of the time, but it's powerful. And why is it so powerful? Because if you, let's say, you have a person who is talking in a rude way to you, he's not polite, he's rude, then many people have the reaction, which is not a response, they react rude back. And instead of reacting back rudely, if you take a step back, you breathe, and you stay out of the rudeness of the other person, the person who responds in a kind way is a lot more powerful, because the other person who is rude, maybe frustrated or angry, is overwhelmed and eaten by those aggressive emotions. If you stay out of that negativity, you stay calm and centered, and you can even be kind, then you're the powerful one, because you are in control of yourself and you are in control of the situation. And I think that's something that we have never been told. We have always been told you're too kind, so you will be taken advantage of, which is not true. There is a kindness which is based more than niceness, which is fear-based. That's being kind more as a people-pleasing matter. Mm-hmm. You're kind and just because you're nice. And somebody says something, you could say even not nice to you, and you're nice out of fear for some kind of confrontation. That has nothing to do with real kindness. Real kindness is love-based. Real kindness, you go inside yourself. It's an inner connection. And you can even be kind, but firm. And I think there's a big difference between being kind and being not able to set boundaries. Powerful kindness, which is the title of my book that I'm writing right now, it's the path of powerful kindness. It's really bringing that message into the world that kindness is powerful. A kind response is powerful. And even if you're kind and a rude person, you can see a person who wants to hurt is always a hurting person, mm-hmm. is a person who has wounds inside him. And that wounded person is projecting his hurt outside in the world. So instead of hurting back, you just stay outside of the hurt. And you can even, if you raise your awareness and you could say you have a very strong mindset, an open heart, you can even be compassionate for the rude person. You can see where the rudeness comes from. That doesn't mean that you become a doormat. That's a big difference. Mm-hmm. No, you stay out of it. And in a calm, graceful way, you can stand up for yourself. But you don't have to yell. You don't have to be aggressive back. And if we could teach our children that how you could say, deal with your emotions, how you deal with a person who is immature, you could say, because someone who yells and who is aggressive, and it's a kind of immaturity. And it's a pity that mm-hmm. so many leaders in our society, so many leaders, even in a work environment, do not have the maturity to master their emotions, to master their mind, to have you could say, a gentle and mature conversation. Because you can disagree and still respect and be kind to each other. Mm-hmm. And it is something I think that has to be taught to people, because our primitive impulse would be yell back, slap back. But if we learn to see that the one who slaps is not mastering himself, he's out of control, and we stay out of the out of controlness, but we stay calm and centered, then we are a lot more powerful than the one who wants to get control over us, but we don't allow that. If you stay out of the provocation, if you stay out of the aggression, he just doesn't have anyone to fight with. And I think that's a very important message that we have to bring into the world. Kindness is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And kindness, and having more, you could say, people who lead by example, who mold that example. The more we will see that in discussions, even if we watch TV, if we watch a soap series, all we see is drama. People not respecting each other, not talking in a respectful way to each other. So what do we teach our children? We teach that if you yell back. No. It's really, if we could have more examples who show how powerful you are, if you stay calm in difficult situations, the more they see that, the more that will become their normality.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts in education. It goes into a work environment. For so long, we have almost applauded a kind of leadership which was very control-based, power-based, but not in a way which was balanced. I don't know if you agree, Marilyn. I don't hear you.
Muted myself. I think, even some of the things like I try to stay calm, but some people are just like, they're still yelling, and it's like,
Yes.
okay, stop.
Yes.
We need to have a conversation here, not a yelling match,
Yes.
You
Yes. And having setting that example more and more.
Mhm.
That it's something that we need, because now all we see is, if I want to, let's say you're in corporate world and you are ambitious and you want to climb the corporate ladder.
Mhm.
Now, many people think that they have to become like a masculine, tough version of themselves
Mhm.
to climb. And I would plead, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Just stay true to yourself. My biggest client is BMW. So I'm working in a world which is 95% male. I'm part of management teams where I'm mostly the only woman. And I have learned, I'm 51. There's a very beautiful thing about you could say getting mature and seeing, having a lot of experience.
Mhm.
And in the beginning, 5-6 years ago, they would mock me like, Miss Sunshine is there. Yes, I'm Miss Sunshine. I will stay Miss Sunshine.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make me less professional. That doesn't make me having less expertise.
Mhm.
And I have learned in my own way, which is aligned with who I am, because then you radiate a lot more power than working from a place which is disconnected. And if we have a discussion now in management team, and they're loud and they're alpha males, and I'm absolutely, you could say, almost the opposite. All I would say is just hold it now. Listen. I don't have to yell. I don't have to, and they listen. And there's a way. So it's not, and I really want to bring that message. If you're ambitious, and whether you're an entrepreneur, a business owner, a manager, stay true to yourself. Find your own way of leadership. And don't think you have to wear a mask of arrogance, a mask of coldness to be a good manager or a good leader. At the contrary, it's the compassion, the kindness, which makes, I can tell you, and I'm not meaning this in an arrogant way, that at the several dealerships at BMW, I'm one of the most respected, most, you could say, approached person, just for my style. I'm just real. I'm who I am. I don't feel more or less than anybody else, but I have molded a way of leadership, which is a kind leadership, but a powerful leadership. And the more people will see that, the more they will first have a work environment that they feel safe, nurtured, and even honored. And I think that's important. Even for the CEO who only thinks about numbers, he will less have absence for sickness, absence for burnouts, because people feel with kind and compassionate leaders, there's a lot more dialogue, there's openness, and it's beneficial for all parties.
Yeah. So what do you say to somebody who wants to be the leader, but they want it done their way? So just kind of be calm.
Well, their way. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I would say nobody ever got smarter from just doing their way. Collaboration, the smartest people collaborate. The smartest people know that there is more in 3 heads than in 1 head. And of course, at a certain moment, you have to take a decision and say, okay, let's do it this way. But then there has to be like a basis of consensus. If you have that, if it's carried by everybody, the enthusiasm will be there. You will have so much better results than you want to do it in a controlling way. It's the same thing with being a parent with my 3 kids. If I say, you have to do this right now to a teenager, it's like, no. No. So, and if I'm saying I have 3 young adults, I'm married for more than 20 years. If I say, okay, guys, we're a team. Mom and dad work really hard. You have holidays right now. We're a team. I suggest that we just divide tasks, household chores. And that's a very different way than saying, you will do the laundry, you will do the dishes, you will do that or that. It's just having that dialogue. Giving people, at least giving them, when people feel that they are connected and that they are valued, that their opinion is valued, the results will skyrocket. Absolutely. And that person who says, I want to do it my way, I would say, well, that's quite old school. Maybe you could do that 50 years ago or 100 years ago, but it's not how you will attract the best young talents.
Right.
If you want to work with young talents, highly skilled people, you have to be open for feedback. That's what all strong leaders are. They are open for feedback.
Yeah, I think it's just like I tell people, like, marketing isn't done the same way as it used to be, you know, and now it's so much different. It's just like speaking with people, you might have always done what you've always done, but it isn't working. And then you wonder why you get so much pushback or you don't get any results at all, right?
Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. And once people start to understand that we're really shifting. I think we're going to a shift right now.
Right.
Even the shift of the success paradigm, like before successful, you had a title, a big house, and a big car.
Right.
If I look at my children, that's shifting.
Mm-hmm.
The paradigm to be, now it's more about being fulfilled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not about showing to the world how many cars you have. It's being fulfilled. They value a lot higher the work environment.
Mm-hmm.
They value a lot higher peace of mind in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I think employers have to understand.
Yeah.
And if they miss that boat, it would be very, if they will not adapt, they will miss the boat for young talent. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what do you suggest or recommend for people to start doing besides being calm and speaking quietly? Do you have any other tips or suggestions?
Yes, I have. The first one would be, don't take anything personally. What the other person is saying is a reflection of his inner state. So staying outside that, seeing that, don't taking it personally, makes you a lot less emotional, and you don't get drawn into the drama of the other person. So staying outside that's a very important one, and that's training, because we're human, and we tend to take anything like everything personally.
Yeah.
But if you can see that, okay, he has a bad mood, let's not go into that right now. Let's just the mood pass by, and then at a later moment we come back and we discuss it. Hello?
Hello,
Okay.
Carol.
Yeah, good comments. Don't get involved in their emotional state. That's really hard to do. I mean, I can step back, but then I go away and I go, why did that person speak to me that way?
Yeah.
But then it was their, like you say, it's their issue.
It's their
problem, not my problem, as you mentioned. It's but trying to just let that go is hard. But we have to train ourselves to do that.
Yes, that's a training. And the more you train yourself in that, the easier it gets. Because it's, it's not helpful for you. If you don't let it go, that person still has power over you. Because you're, like repeating that story the entire night, like, why did he behave? Why? So that person is taking away your peace. Will you allow that?
No, can you, when someone is really disrespectful to you, not yelling at you, but just comes back with a very disrespectful comment, would it be appropriate to say, I didn't really care for that comment that you just made. Could you be a little more respectful? Could you come back with something like that in a nice manner?
Yes.
Would you suggest that, or just leave it alone?
Absolutely. I think it's important to say that.
Because I don't want to be a doormat. You don't want to be a doormat.
No. And it's very important to speak up that your feeling, in your experience, it was disrespectful.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Very important.
Well, that's what's hard to do also. We need to train ourselves to do that in a respectful manner also.
Yes, absolutely.
And hearing this over and over and over gives us the strength to do that.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's about setting healthy boundaries. And I think for many, many women, that is an issue, setting healthy boundaries. Me, for a very long time, I have been this kind of people pleaser. I
Yeah,
wanted
me too.
harmony and love all around me. I hated confrontation. I hated, like discussions. But I have learned that it's a form of self-abuse
Mhm.
to allow other people to not speak up for myself. It's a form of self-abuse. So it's a form of self-respect when I share my experience. In my experience, this felt hurtful. In my experience, I felt not respected. And maybe the other person is so unconscious.
Yes.
He
Yeah,
or
they're not aware. Yeah, they're not
They're
aware
not
that
aware.
they hurt you. And so unless you tell them, I've had 2 or 3 experiences over the years where I just got up enough courage. It takes courage to
Yes,
speak to
absolutely.
somebody about how they made me feel. And, they turned like 100% around and became, I didn't want to be their best friend, but we became friendly, and that
Yes.
didn't happen again.
Absolutely.
Can't hear you, Carol.
No.
But put down, oh, you can't hear me?
Okay.
Okay. There's too much road noise, I'm sure. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
No. But I
Anyway.
totally agree. Once you have that courage, it's a breakthrough for yourself. That's a breakthrough. The first time you say, even to a good friend sometimes, who would be mocking you for making some comments that they are not aware that are hurting, just saying like, that hurts me when you speak like that. And you open up, because otherwise we we hide behind a kind of wall of fake kindness, of niceness, and it's fear-based.
Mhm.
So the kindness has to be love-based. You are in alignment, your batteries are charged, and you are radiating love and joy. And from that place, and if they decide to be negative, that's their issue. It's their problem, but we're not going there. And if people are continuously having that behavior, which we could call toxic behavior, we can just in a gentle way take distance. We don't need those people in our lives.
Mhm.
If they are repeatedly
Thank you.
unsupportive, if they are repeatedly more behaving like leeches, you could say, sucking all the life out of us. No. I have learned to not pick up the phone. I have learned to say no. Because it's choosing, like you're choosing for yourself at that moment. And you have to train people. I had my mom, my sister, everybody taught, because I'm the kind, helping, open-hearted person, that they could ring me all of the time and complain and their issues. And I have trained them now. Many times I don't.
Good.
I don't.
Yeah, nobody wants to be around complaining people, that's for sure.
No. And of course, if it's a good friend, sometimes we have to vent, and it helps. But it cannot be repeatedly. And it cannot be dwelling. If someone is dwelling in his misery, dwelling in this negativity, that's their choice. But we can stay outside that. We don't have to go in that. And it's harmful. It's harmful for our mental health, you could say, and harmful for our physical health even. If you are around those people who choose to dwell in misery, negativity, rudeness, aggression. And the most important thing, I think, is not getting poisoned by their behavior and starting to imitate it, but just staying our kind selves. So that's why I'm so passionate about kindness. It's really really bringing, bringing that message. You can be a leader, you can be a manager, you can be a parent, kind and powerful. You can be a friend, but you can, those two go together.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and that's the biggest challenge, I think, especially between friends, to actually say something. Sometimes I have to say, okay, I'm going to risk this relationship we have
Yes,
by saying something
absolutely.
to somebody. And
Absolutely.
most of the time it works out, but sometimes they're offended. They even to say anything about that. But
Yes.
otherwise, I just feel like you were saying earlier is that I'm abusing myself by not saying anything. Otherwise, I just
Yes.
have to walk away and just not answer a phone call, not do anything, not to the whims and whatever they need because I didn't provide whatever. So yeah, so it's a very challenging thing about, like you're saying, kindness is a power. It is powerful. And it's just, but we have to use it in a gentle and strong manner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you could say, bring that into the world, because it's such a people do not understand it yet.
Yeah.
They do not see it yet.
Yeah.
And really teach that, you could say almost teach that way of behavior.
Yeah.
Because all we see in the media, on social media, is the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah. But like you said too, our energy in the world is shifting to the lighter.
Yes.
To a lighter, to remove itself from the darkness into the light. But that there's still an effect on us as humans for all that shift as well.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And I think if we, like you and many speakers here on the conference, we are those first light bringers. We are carrying the torch.
Right.
And other people maybe have a little torch.
Yeah.
But they can get more,
Yeah.
they can put their candle on our torch, and we're like, come.
Yeah.
Like we're
come with
making
us.
that movement.
Yeah.
Yes, come with us.
Yeah, come with us. Because like you were saying, it's all about the we. I think that's what Pamela said too, is there's a we in front of wellness. So we are together in the wellness of sharing kindness and bringing the light into the space wherever we are at.
Yes.
Yeah.
And kindness is the light.
Yeah.
The kindness is the light.
The light.
And I think if we, even if I'm at the grocery store and I do a kind smile to someone, it's like my spark, like my spark goes to the other person.
Right.
And that person then has the choice if he gets sparkled or not.
Yeah.
That's his choice.
Yeah.
But all we can do is share our light. And it's in simple gestures.
Yeah, exactly. It's always the simple things that make kindness work.
Yes.
Totally. Well, I loved your talk. Thank you. Barbara, for joining me today and sharing your message. Because I know you always have a smile. You're always sending your sparks out.
Yes, I love to do that. Sparks of love and kindness.
Sparks of love. It's like the glitter. It reminds me of the glitter flying around.
Yes. Okay. Well.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So I'm just going to stop recording.
Okay.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. I really appreciate the conversation.
Wow, thank you. It was really, when I saw you kindness at work, I was like, yay, a kindness conference. I love that.
Yeah. I was just thinking, like, next time I'm not going to do the 3-day. I'm probably going to just do bits and pieces, maybe 4 hours here and there.
Yes.
And then probably have more attention for somebody's head span, because like you're saying, we get so much information overload, right? And it's like
overload.
We almost get to the point that we're paralyzed, rather than just saying, okay, I want to do that, I'm going to go listen to that person. But now they can, because it's all on YouTube, and people,
Yes.
so we'll promote the YouTube channel. out.
I think that's important. People can watch a replay whenever it's comfortable for them.
Right. So that's why I kind of decided, let's just kind of put it on YouTube, and then if people want to replay, they can go listen to it there when it's convenient
Yes.
for them. Then rather than me try to edit everything and send it.
No.
But I will send out the speakers' conversations, because I'm taping them separately. So
Yes.
I'll be able to do that for you guys.
Well, I want to thank you, Marilyn, for
Yeah.
all your efforts.
Oh, thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And we'll talk again.
Yeah, we will. We will. So when's your book coming out?
I think around Thanksgiving.
Okay. Okay.
But I'll contact you, send you a little message.
Yeah.
If you know, like if we can do something, or
Sure.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll do another call together promoting your
Yes.
book. That'd be great.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for
Okay,
that.
great. Thank you,
Okay.
Barbara. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And Carol's there, but she's on mute. She's driving around. That's okay. It's all good. Let me play some more music.
Notte di luce, una notte infinita, una lettera che non sarà mai spedita. Cos'è la realtà? Io non lo so più. Ad occhi aperti, il mio sogno sei tu. Io ti amo, sì ti amo, quanto ti amo. Guardo la gente, mano per mano, nessuno capisce quello che provo.
Marilyn.
Hey,
Respiro il silenzio.
I'll turn down the music. Just hang on. Or I'll just pause it.
Is that music copyright free?
Oh, it's on my iTunes.
It's on your YouTube?
No, it's on my iTunes.
Okay, well, if it's not copyright free.
Yeah, but I'm just listening to it from iTunes. I'm just sharing it from my iTunes channel.
Oh, it's not
there-
getting recorded?
No, it's not getting recorded, and
Oh.
I'm just playing it in between speakers because it seems to help people relax, or helps me relax. They're all
Yeah.
original albums that I have paid for, and I'm just listening to it on my iTunes channel.
Oh, I see.
I'm not live streaming anything right now.
Okay, because YouTube is really bad about that stuff. I've had my videos taken down because I had music in the background, and
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
Well, the reason why I was asking is because I'm looking. You're live on YouTube right now. I can see you.
Yeah, but I paused it. It says live, but I paused it. It isn't playing.
Okay, I'm just hoping it's not getting recorded, even though it is paused.
Okay, well, I could stop it.
I'm not sure how this works actually. I mean,
Because she just finished speaking. So if there's that delay, and then I could just end it.
Okay. Or you
But
can
I just been pausing. That's what you suggested yesterday. I should just pause. So.
Yeah, I mean,